This story is a bit wild, especially because of this woman's title. She is allegedly a psychologist, but man, this is it's scary to just think that it's like, who can you trust? You can't trust a psychologist? Come on, man. Let me give you guys the fair use before I get into the details. Warn you about my content. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And of course, my favorite source for news is not only Illicit Deeds. Shout out to my friend Illicit Deeds. I had to throw that in there. But this story is coming from Law and Crime, one of my favorite sources. So thank you, Law and Crime. I just literally read this again. And I think that this woman is lying about being a psychologist, because I was just like, you look at her face and I'm like, normally psychologists aren't that ugly and that stupid. So I'm thinking there's no way she could be a psychologist, because psychologists usually aren't that stupid in the face looking. So I was really shocked. I'm like, psychologist? She is a self-described psychologist and made friends with a 15-year-old girl, only to try to make her have sexual relations with two grown men. She don't sound like a psychologist. She sounds like a pimp, and she sounds like she is pushing, what do you call that? Child predators, whatever. Anyway, her name is Maria Ximena Duarte, 45 years old, and is currently in jail in Miami-Dade County, so Miami, y'all taking an L, for charges of human trafficking of a child, lewd and lascivious exhibition on a child younger than 16 years old, while the defendant is older than 18 years old, lewd and lascivious battery, and interference with custody. Documents implicated two men in the alleged abuse, which we only got a picture of one of them. Okay? One of them sexually abused the girl, according to Duarte's arrest affidavit. Documents only provide the men's first names. Law and Crime is not naming them because they have not been charged, which makes sense. But we reached out to the police regarding these other adults. A law enforcement spokesman said that the investigation is ongoing. The public defender's office representing Duarte declined to comment. According to documents, the girl told police that on Tuesday, she walked her dog to the pool area of a hotel where she met the defendant. Duarte, which is the woman on the left-hand side of the screen, she got just a meth head drug face. Like, she looks crazy as hell. Duarte allegedly made friends with the teenager, gaining her trust quickly by revealing herself to be a psychologist. That is lower than a bow-legged caterpillar, I gotta tell you. The girl, growing comfortable with the defendant, confided in her about personal life issues and was told they shared life experience. But Duarte allegedly offered a girl a marijuana cigarette and some alcohol drinks. The teenager declined drinking the alcohol, but hung out in the hotel room, intermittently returning home and coming back into the next day. I would just hope that the things that we put into our kids would make it to where they don't get coerced into doing stuff like this. I know kids do crazy things, but I find it hard to believe that my daughter would even do something like that. But I'm not here to rail against the kids. The kid is still a child and a victim. So let's remember that. Now, on Wednesday, Duarte allegedly took pictures of her and sent them to a man, telling him the girl was 21 years old and willing to have sex with him. So if we need to remove that picture from the screen, we'll do it. Not that one, but that one. So if we need to, we'll do it. But for now, I'll leave the picture up. So she told him that the girl was 21 years old. The girl, however, refused, saying in the paraphrasing of the affidavit that she was not like that. Duarte allegedly ignored her and kept insisting. According to documents, the defendant had sex with this individual in front of the teenager and gave her a phone to record an act of oral sex. According to the documents, the defendant performed the act while telling the victim that she was teaching her. This psychologist. Duarte's boyfriend also allegedly arrived at the hotel, and she left in an attempt to leave the girl alone in the room with him. Though the girl voiced discomfort, Duarte pushed her back inside the hotel room and told her to stay and make the man feel good. Documents say it like this is Monsters Ball or something. The girl, alone in the room, went into the bathroom and started playing on the phone. She later stepped out to find the man with his genitals exposed, pleasuring himself and inviting the victim to have sex with him, according to documents. She refused, but Duarte's boyfriend grabbed her by the back of her neck, her head and neck, according to the affidavit. Documents described an act of sexual assault. In her time in the room, the girl learned that Duarte exchanged sex for drugs to satisfy her drug addictions. Told you she looked like a crackhead, and I was right. The victim overheard the defendant state to the boyfriend, "She's 15. Can you believe that?" Documents say. When police later interviewed Duarte, they described her as belligerent and uncooperative. She seemed to be high on unknown drugs. Therefore, the detective determined the interview could not be conducted. To give you guys the fair usage, we'll keep this short. It's crazy. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. So I think the man that was in that picture and the one that you're going to see in this video is the boyfriend, I believe. But I'm not sure. Like I said, if I have to make a retraction, we'll do it later. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Man, this is still a form of sex trafficking and abusing kids. And I think that they need a life sentence. All right? At least the woman does. If the man knew that that girl was 15, he needs a life sentence too.
A second arrest has been made after police say a 15-year-old girl was groomed to have sex with a man at a Miami-Dade hotel. Officials have arrested 46-year-old Jason Mojica, who is accused of forcing the teen to have sex with him. They say it happened last week at the Aloft Hotel near Dadeland Mall. According to the arrest report, 45-year-old Maria Duarte, a licensed psychologist, used drugs to lure the teen into her room. Investigators say Duarte allegedly told Mojica the girl was 20.
They said self-described psychologist.
21 and pushed her back inside the room when she tried to leave. Duarte appeared in bond court where she declared her innocence. Listen.
Can you afford to hire a private attorney?
She's my best friend. She would do it pro bono.
Okay. Let her, she can substitute in. You need a lawyer on this case.
I'm a PhD. I will lose my license and my life. I need help. I've never even touched that girl, kissed her.
The facts alleged in here are terrible facts.
Officials say the teen was left alone with Mojica, and that is when he forced her to have sex with him. Mojica and Duarte were both arrested and face a long list of charges, including lewd and lascivious exhibition on a child under 16. Duarte also faces a human trafficking charge.
Rarely do you ever see that somebody who's actually done something like this, of course, they're going to deny it. So, of course, we expect to hear them say they didn't do it. It's not true. Of course.
I'm a PhD. I will lose my license and my life. I need help. I've never even touched that girl, kissed her.
The facts alleged in here are terrible facts.
45-year-old Maria Duarte, seemingly surprised by the serious charges of child human trafficking she's now facing after disturbing encounters with a 15-year-old. Miami-Dade police say the teenager met the 45-year-old at this Aloft Hotel in Dadeland. It was there the 15-year-old started to confide in the licensed psychologist, building enough trust to return to the hotel later that day. After offering the 15-year-old girl marijuana and alcohol, she allegedly invited the teen to her room, where the suspect is accused of forcing the 15-year-old to film her having sex with a man named Pablo. Later, Durate's boyfriend entered the room, forcing the 15-year-old to have sex with him.
Human trafficking of a child is considered a dangerous crime. It's no bond. You're going to have to wait until tomorrow to see a judge.
Durate appearing to be shocked by the judge's decision to deny her bond.
If this child trusted this psychologist and saw them as somebody who was there to
Self-described psychologist.
help them, this is the exact kind of situation we frequently see at Christie House.
Amanda Altman of Christie House, a children's advocacy center in Miami, says while Florida ranks number 3 in the nation for human trafficking, Miami-Dade ranks number 1 in the state. And unfortunately, these incidents are far too common in South Florida.
You notice change in your child's behavior from what's normal. You know your kids best. So a change in their behavior from what's normal, that's really something that you should start talking to them about or seeking professional help for.
Tonight, a woman who says she's a psychologist is accused of trying to lure a 15-year-old girl into human trafficking in Southwest Miami-Dade.
Psychologist. I'm a PhD. I will lose my license and my life. I need help. I've never even touched that girl, kissed her.
Police say Maria Durant met the girl while the teen was walking her dog near a hotel. Officials say the woman used her position to gain the girl's trust and then offered her alcohol and marijuana. According to detectives, the suspect tried to pressure the victim to have sex with at least 2 men. She's accused of exchanging sex for drugs to satisfy her addictions.
Miami-Dade police making a second arrest in connection with a human trafficking case involving a school mental health counselor. 46-year-old Jason Mojica is facing 3 felony charges. He was already in custody on an unrelated charge. Police say he and his girlfriend, Maria Duarte, gained the 15-year-old victim's trust and tried to traffic her to another man. When she declined, Duarte and the other man allegedly had sex and made the girl record them. Both Mojica and Duarte are being held without bond.
That is scary, the fact that they are number 3 in the nation for child trafficking, sex trafficking. So I every bit believe that that's exactly what they was trying to do here. So people like this, all you could do is just try to get as many. You just got to pick out all of these bad, rotten apples and try to give them as much time in prison as you possibly can to try to protect the rest of the children. So keep that girl in your prayers and talk to your kids. Have serious conversations with your kids. I'm doing it now, and I've always done it ever since my daughter was a little girl. Now she is becoming a young woman. We are always, this conversation is always evolving. We're always talking, always talking. I would pray that my daughter would never end up in a situation like this. And so far, so good. But, you know, we got to just continue to keep working and doing the work as parents and protect your kids as best as you possibly can. Get rid of predators like this. Thank you guys so much for listening to the story. Make it go viral. Leave a comment in the comment section, and let me know what you guys think. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you.